begins with breaking news.
Good afternoon. I'm Tiffany Payton. The man who shot and killed Kaylin Gillis in his driveway has been sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. We have team coverage. Caitlin Erla and Sabrina Dami are live outside of the Washington County Courthouse, where a judge handed down that sentence just over an hour ago. Good afternoon, ladies.
Yeah, Tiffany, good afternoon to you. We're live here outside the Washington County Courthouse, where Kevin Monahan was just sentenced to actually 26 to 29 years to life in prison. The 25 years to life was for that second-degree murder charge. He got additional time for that tampering with evidence charge. A very emotional day inside the courtroom. We heard 3 victim impact statements. A lot going on, a lot to unpack from the sentencing here today.
This was the culmination, Caitlin, of nearly a year since this case rocked not only this community, but the entire nation, paying attention to this young woman and her friends pulling into the wrong driveway while trying to find a house party, and Kevin Monahan firing 2 shots, essentially killing Kaylin Gillis, who would have just turned 21 years old on February 23rd. You mentioned we heard victim impact statements. We heard from Kaylin Gillis's father, Andy Gillis, her boyfriend, Blake Walsh, who was driving the car that night, and her best friend, Alex Whiting, who was sitting in the seat right behind Kaylin when she saw her friend dying that night. It was really strong words from all 3 of them. A few quotes that we will share with you from her father, saying, "Our entire family has been shattered. Our hope is that your actions," pointing to Kevin Monahan at this point, "your actions will haunt you for the rest of your life." Blake Walsh saying, "Everything has changed since that night. I live my life differently because of that night." And Alex Whiting, who was Kaylin's best friend, saying, "One person's actions, one person's choice took her life. An old man with a gun." She says, "I feel afraid every day. I live in fear." That was so powerful, that moment.
Yeah, and really heart-wrenching for her to say that, too. That's what she was saying. She's still so young. Kaylin was also obviously so young, and she says she lives in fear. She says she will never, ever turn around in someone else's driveway ever. And I think that's something that a lot of the family has said that they will never do again either. Something that we have all done before, just a mistake that she obviously lost her life over, which is just so tragic. So I know the family had said they were, the verdict or the sentencing is not going to bring her back, but it gives them a little bit of closure, and it's justice for Kaylin. We heard from Judge Adam Michelini, who also had some very strong words to say to Kevin Monahan. He did say to Kevin Monahan that, "I believe if you were to be set free, you would do this again. You would do the same thing because you have no remorse." He was saying that he doesn't believe that he was taking responsibility for his actions. Again, some strong words from the judge. Let's hear what he had to say.
It's obvious to me that you feel justified. You don't take any responsibility for the outcome of your actions. You just don't get it. The first thing you do on the witness stand when you come up here and testify is you made a joke to the jury about them finally being able to see your face. You senselessly took the life of Kaylin Gillis, and you have the gall to sit here and talk about how you plan to finish up the work on your house and race motocross in the future. You don't deserve that. What would make you think that you deserve those things? In killing Kaylin Gillis, you took away a friend, you took away a girlfriend, you took away a daughter, a granddaughter, and a sibling. You took away so much unrealized potential, her potential to enrich other people's lives and to contribute to our society.
Yeah, just strong emotional words there from the judge. And we also heard a lot of strong emotional words from the 3 victim impact statements that we heard. We know Blake Walsh, who was Kaylin Gillis's boyfriend, who was driving that car, as Sabrina said, saying he still feels like this is his fault. So really hard to listen to them speak.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I've ever been inside a courtroom for any sentencing when the victim impact statements haven't been powerful and emotional, and today was certainly no exception. We know that the question, though, that people ask, does that really weigh on the judge's mind when he determines the ultimate sentence? I asked Art Frost, the defense attorney, if he thinks what those victim impact statements if they had any bearing on what the judge said. He said he believes the judge considers everything, the probation report, the defendant's conduct at trial, the verdict itself, and, of course, those victim impact statements. Now, what I also wanted to point it out is that all three of those victim impact statements contained statements that they wanted the judge to impose the maximum sentence. And guess what? The judge imposed the maximum sentence, 26 1/3 to 29 years. Now, we should also point out that Christian Morris, the defense attorney, said he believes that Monahan has already received some sort of modicum of mercy, because otherwise he'd be in court today asking for the death penalty. So obviously there's no death penalty in New York State. And coming up at 12:30, you will hear what Blake Walsh and Andrew Gillis had to say. That's coming up in about 20-25 minutes.
And Dan, as you mentioned, Andrew Gillis, we had video up just now on the screen of the family coming out of the courtroom. Inside the courtroom, this was a strong showing from the family, about 50 family members in there. And this was the first time they were able to wear shirts bearing Kaylin's name, as it was restricted during the testimony portion of the trial. This is the opportunity where they got to, and it's up on your screen once again. There's Andrew Gillis, who delivered a victim impact statement talking about the loss of his daughter, how it has shattered their family. So Dan, you'll have much more from inside the courtroom coming up.
About 22 minutes from now, yes.
Okay, Dan, thank you very much.
Yeah, we have much more to come here. I know, Sabrina, you spoke with Tony Jordan, the district attorney here in Washington County, so we'll have much more to come here on News Channel 13 live at noon. For now, we'll send it back to Tiffany and Reed in the studio. We're live from Washington County, News Channel 13.
Kaylin, Sabrina, Dan, thank you so much. Now, switching gears now to weather, let's get a check of your first warning forecast with meteorologist Reed Kisselback.